Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. Watch.
3 minutes out. Team, go green. This is down.
The movie kicks off at Camp David, where President Benjamin Asher is taking a break from his duties. He shares a friendly boxing match with his trusted bodyguard, Mike Banning, a former Army Ranger. Their relationship goes beyond just work. They're more like close family friends. Asher is getting ready for a Christmas party with his wife, Margaret, and their son, Connor. Before heading out, Banning tells his colleague, Dave Forbes, to stay behind and look after Camp David. On the drive to the event, disaster strikes. The presidential limo loses control on an icy bridge. Banning manages to pull President Asher to safety, but tragically, Margaret doesn't make it. The car plunges into a ravine. Stop. The loss weighs heavily on Banning, and the guilt eats away at him. Fast forward 18 months, and Banning has stepped away from the president's security team, now working at the Treasury Department. At home, his wife, Leah, tries to connect with him, but he's still stuck in the past. Paula's boyfriend. Noticing her frustration, he vaguely promises they'll go on vacation, but it's clear his mind is elsewhere. Later, Banning crosses paths with his old boss, Lynn Jacobs and Agent Roma. Even though he's no longer protecting the president, mistaking your mutt, he still carries the regret of failing to save Margaret. Deep down, he hopes he'll get another shot at serving on the security detail. Meanwhile, Asher is prepping for an important meeting with key officials about South Korea's rising concerns regarding North Korea's aggression. There are missile tests. There's a lot of debate over how to handle the situation. Asher leans on Vice President Rodriguez, who supports Defense Secretary McMillan's more cautious stance. What time is Minister Lee to arrive? The conversation is interrupted by the arrival of South Korea's Prime Minister and his security team. Everything seems routine until it's not. Out of nowhere, an unidentified aircraft violates U.S. airspace, sending officials into a panic. The military scrambles to make contact, but the plane isn't responding. When fighter jets attempt to intercept, the aircraft fires back, escalating the threat. Everyone quickly realizes the White House is under attack. Roma moves swiftly, leading President Asher and top officials to the underground bunker while the White House security team braces for impact. The tension is off the charts. As a rogue plane gets closer, it unleashes destruction across Washington, D.C. Civilians run for cover as chaos erupts in the streets. Right in the middle of it all, Banning makes his move, rushing toward the White House, ready to jump into action. Just as the Air Force finally takes down the hostile plane, another threat emerges. A well-organized group of mercenaries takes advantage of the confusion and launches a ground assault, catching everyone off guard. The fierce battle that follows leaves the White House defenses in shambles, and the attackers gain the upper hand. Amidst the madness, a shocking betrayal unfolds. Park, a supposed ally, reveals his true colors. He's actually a top player in a terrorist group called Koreans for United Freedom, with inside help, including the backstabbing Dave Forbes. Park seizes control of the White House. Suddenly, the building is swarming with terrorists, and things take a turn for the worse. But Banning isn't the type to sit back and watch. He sneaks into the White House, now enemy territory, determined to take down the intruders and rescue President Asher and the other hostages. With time running out and danger around every corner, he navigates through the heavily guarded halls, staying one step ahead of the terrorists. Meanwhile, Park tightens his grip on power. His tech expert, Lim, disables the White House's security systems, giving them full control over its defenses. They even use drones to monitor U.S. military movements, solidifying their dominance. To prove they mean business, Park makes a chilling statement. In a brutal video call to the Pentagon, he executes South Korean Prime Minister Lee Tae-woo. His message is crystal clear. He's in charge now. With Asher and other high-ranking officials in his grasp, Park lays out his demands. The U.S. military must completely withdraw from the White House or face the consequences. I have your commander-in-chief. Left with no choice, the Pentagon complies. In a humiliating display, the terrorists raise their flag over the White House, a symbol of their total control. But while things look bleak, Banning isn't giving up. He's still inside, the last hope for turning the tide. Step by step, he chips away at the terrorist hold, using his skills to outmaneuver them. In a bold move, he shuts down the White House's surveillance system, finally securing a way to communicate with the outside world. He taps into the president's satellite earpiece, making contact with Lynn and Alan Trumbull, who has stepped in as the interim president, leading operations from the Pentagon's emergency briefing room. It's one of yours, designator? Unfortunately, the news isn't good. Asher and several key officials are being held hostage, and things are about to escalate. Park, always a master manipulator, uses Asher's life as a bargaining chip. He forces Trumbull into an impossible situation, demanding that the U.S. withdraw crucial military forces from Korea. If they comply, it could set the stage for a catastrophic war. Banning knows there's no time to waste. He has to act fast before things spiral even further out of control. Park isn't just about seizing power. He's got a deeply personal vendetta. His mother's death fuels his thirst for revenge, and his plan is beyond horrifying. He wants to take control of America's nuclear weapons and turn the country into a nuclear wasteland. But to make that happen, he needs access to a top-secret system called Cerberus, which is the key to the U.S. nuclear arsenal. The problem? Only 3 people know the access codes: President Asher, Secretary of Defense Ruth McMillan, and Admiral Joseph Honig. To get the codes, Park takes things to the extreme, using ruthless tactics to break them down. The whole country is on edge, hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, Banning is on a high-stakes mission of his own, fighting against time as he navigates a White House overrun by enemies. Every step he takes is a deadly gamble, but he has no choice. He has to stop Park before it's too late. Then, a shocking truth comes to light. Park isn't who he claims to be. He's actually Kong Yonsak, a notorious terrorist with a bone to pick with the United States. Armed with this game-changing intel, Banning scrambles to alert the Pentagon and ramp up efforts to stop the unfolding disaster. But betrayal is always lurking. Banning soon comes face to face with Forbes, someone he thought was an ally, only to realize he's switched sides. The deception stings, but there's no time to dwell on it. In a tense, all-or-nothing fight, Banning takes Forbes down, determined to stay on course and protect the mission at all costs. Over at the Pentagon, officials are desperate for a solution. Their bold strategy? A daring air assault to retake the White House. Banning warns them it's a bad idea, but Trumbull, running out of options, gives the go-ahead. Unfortunately, Park is already ahead of the game. Using surveillance drones, he tracks the incoming SEAL team and coldly activates the Hydra anti-aircraft system. In an instant, the SEAL helicopters are obliterated, leaving the Pentagon in shock. Realizing the mission is doomed, Trumbull has no choice but to abort the operation. As chaos unfolds, Banning takes it upon himself to disable the Hydra system. He succeeds but gets badly injured in the process. Despite the pain, he keeps pushing forward because he knows he's the last hope standing between Park and total destruction. Meanwhile, Kong isn't rattled by the failed assault. Instead, he ups the ante, executing Vice President Charlie Rodriguez as a gruesome warning. Holding President Asher hostage, he demands a fully fueled helicopter for his escape, using the president as the ultimate bargaining chip. Time is running out, and Trumbull pleads with Banning to act fast. Banning wastes no time, chasing down Park and his remaining men as they make their way across the White House grounds. In a desperate last-minute rescue, Banning manages to stop Park from publicly executing Secretary of Defense McMillan, a spectacle meant to send a chilling message to the world. The intense battle forces Park and his men back into the bunker, giving Banning a slim chance to protect the president. Meanwhile, Trumbull is faced with an impossible decision. Under immense pressure, he gives in to Park's demands and orders a military withdrawal, potentially handing the terrorists exactly what they want. But Park has another sick trick up his sleeve. He stages a brutal hoax, making it seem like he's executed President Asher and the other hostages. It's a psychological move meant to crush any hope left. But Banning isn't buying it. He's convinced the president is still alive, and with that belief driving him, he gears up for a final assault on the bunker. Inside, Park is dangerously close to getting what he wants. He's already secured 2 Cerberus codes and is pressuring Asher for the last one. If he succeeds, nuclear devastation is inevitable. Just as Park is about to seal America's fate, Banning crashes into the bunker, leading to an all-out, no-holds-barred fight. As the brutal battle rages on and the nuclear clock ticks down, President Asher seizes a moment to create a distraction. That split second is all Banning needs. With everything on the line, he takes on Park in one final, unforgiving fight. The stakes couldn't be higher, but Banning refuses to lose. In the end, he overpowers Park, ending the terrorist threat for good. With no time to waste, Banning rushes to Asher, working desperately to stop the bleeding and keep him alive. The nuclear disaster is moments away, but with Trumbull's team backing him up, Banning successfully shuts down the Cerberus system, stopping the catastrophe just in time. As the dust settles, President Asher is quickly rushed to medical care and reunited with his son, Connor. Over at the Pentagon, the tense atmosphere finally gives way to celebration, as Banning's heroic efforts are recognized. Back in his rightful place, Banning is reinstated as the head of the president's security detail, standing tall after single-handedly saving the country from the brink of destruction. In a heartfelt address to the nation, President Asher reassures the people that America will remain strong and resilient, no matter the challenges ahead. And in a moment of genuine gratitude, he shakes Banning's hand, not just as a gesture of thanks for saving his life, but for protecting the soul of the nation itself. That's a wrap on this story. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful recaps like this. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the turn of events in this storyline. And also give my video a thumbs up to further motivate me. Share too for others to enjoy. Until my next recap, cheers!